Good day and welcome to Africa in Conversation. This is where we had conversations that can shift the direction of change. I'm Patricia Ngwani, your host for the show. This is where we discuss all issues that are of concern for Africa. And today we are talking about a new narrative for Africa, a new change, a new shift for the African media, a new era for the African media. And I'm joined by key players in the media industry around Africa. We have Mr. Pumile all the way from Nigeria. We'll be joined very shortly by Mr. Jerry. We also have Koziba all the way from Botswana. And yes, like I said, I'll be your host through the show, and my name is Patricia Ngwani, and I'm going to kindly invite our amazing gentlemen from around Africa, and I'm going to kindly ask that they introduce themselves. Gentlemen, you are so welcome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Koziba, I'm going to kindly start with you, and I'm going to ask that you introduce yourself, sir. Koziba. Okay,
Hello?
while it is still sorted, yes, can I ask you to introduce yourself, sir? We are live. Can I kindly ask that you introduce yourself? And thank you for joining us.
Patricia, you are buffering?
Yes, I was saying, can you kindly introduce yourself? We are live on Africa in Conversations.
All right. All right. Good day, everyone. My name is Koziba Sebina, commonly known as the Grinder. I'm a motivational speaker and a corporate strategist, as well as an HR professional. I've been on the radio or in the media industry for about 4 years. I'm working with RB2 in Botswana, where I was hosting a show.
Where did he go? Okay, I think there's something wrong with his internet there. Mr. Pumile, can you introduce yourself?
All right, thank you, Patricia. My name is Akintaro Mwamile Lekan. I'm a Nigerian and I'm in Nigeria. I am an educator. I am a school administrator, human resource developer, and a social analyst. I have been in the grooming of children, in the profession of grooming of children for the past 25 years. And I have also related with parents, with adults. So I think I have gathered some measure of level of experience to know what it is with us in Africa. Thank you for having me.
All right. We lost Koziba there, but while we are waiting to get him back, we're just going to continue with our conversation, Mr. Pumile. Yeah, it is my understanding that media plays a very important role in building an informed society. It plays a very key role in our society in providing credible information for the transformation of our society. But still there is an essence of media wanting to publish what sells. But then in that, how do we, I'm just going to throw you into the deep and just ask you, how do we bridge the gap of actually publishing what sells and publishing credible information that actually transforms the lives of our society? I believe that's the best place for us to start.
Okay, thank you very much. If we talk about showcasing Africa to the world, we just have to, first of all, start with ourselves. What is our perception about ourselves?
Yeah.
Whether as individuals, as media practitioners, what is our perception about ourselves? Because whatever you are going to write, whatever you are going to say about yourself or about a phenomenon is based on your perception of that phenomenon. So now in showcasing Africa to the world, I have a question to Africans. what do we think about ourselves? What is our opinion about our lot in life? How do we see ourselves? First, this will definitely go a long way to determine how we present ourselves outside or to the world. Now, let me give you an example now. A child that is not happy that his parents are his parents will always be lamenting in that family. Most Africans think that they are unfortunate to be Africans or to have been in Africa. So if you ask such a person to write even on the good aspect of Africa, the negative perception he has will darken the good part, and we not have any good thing to write about it. So I want to say that if we must showcase Africa perfectly well, we have to work on one another. Let's work on ourselves. Let us work on our perception of ourselves. I think that will be the first place to start with. All right.
Okay, you mentioned our perception of self, and it is my understanding that to play the role of our media, for them to play a perfect role in our society, it's for them to understand that they are an instrument that ensures and improve the quality of our lives. But then here we are as Africans, because as I was preparing for this show, before we could actually think of a topic to go to, the first thing we did was to look up to, because our show is about sharing the current information that is there about Africa. So the first place to start was to go on the internet, and we just typed news around Africa to find out what's there around Africa. And in us trying to find out what's there around Africa, I think it was, to my knowledge, that there was just a lot of what's bad out there. And then the question that stood out is, what are we selling? What are we doing as media houses to ensure that we play this role of being an instrument that ensures to improve the transformation of our Africa to the outside world?
Okay, thank you so much. The point I want us to look at is this. The people in the media profession, what extent is their knowledge about Africa? What do they know about our situation in Africa? I believe someone in the media field or profession is expected to have vast knowledge about all aspects of life. But then what I see is we have people who have limited knowledge about what Africa is all about. They have limited knowledge about the good aspect of Africa. They have little knowledge about how we can harness the natural resources, the human resources, the social resources that we have. Then your knowledge cannot go beyond what you can write about. So I want to say that, first of all, we have to broaden our understanding as media practitioners so that we will be able to write well. We'll be able to express what we have here very well. Let me give you an instance now. The whole world is relying on Africa for food. The whole world relies on Africa. Please, if you ask the people in the media, what do you know about agriculture in Africa? What role do you think Africa can play in agriculture, in feeding the world? I am very sure they have little or no knowledge about that. So what I am saying is that if the media is going to project Africa well in the good light, we have to broaden the knowledge, the grooming of the media practitioners, the media men in training. We have to broaden the horizon, the scope of what they know about Africa, so that they will be able to project us more. And I want to add this to it. Do you know that these people prefer foreign news to African news? They know more about US, they know more about UK, they know more about Tanzania, they know more about all these foreign countries, about Europe. They know little about Africa. So if our media men, if our media will project Africa very well, we need to refocus on our knowledge about Africa. It is what you know that you give. So we need to know more about Africa. Let's know about our potentials. Then we will be able to project it better through our media platforms.
Okay. I do hear you. I do hear you, Mr. Pamela. But right now we are at a state where there is a very high growth of there's a very high growth of digital medias coming up, and in them coming up there's a challenge because there's the information that is leaked without any editorial insights, any all the unchecked information that is being leaked. And basically often at time you find out all this information is just mere rumors, and the fact that there hasn't been any editorial insights, there hasn't been any checking. We are fed and we are feeding the world with a lot of rumors, and these rumors are gaining a lot of credences. They're gaining a lot of sight around the world, and then and gaining that credences over the truth that is there around about Africa. So how do we now bridge the gap to reach to a level where it is not only about the rumors getting an upper arm, but also about the truth of the things that are happening in Africa? Because it's quite saddening to think about it when you go into the internet and you are trying to find something about our Africa, and the only thing that you find out is about the xenophobia, is about the killing, the Zimbabwean this Botswana this and stuff. Whereas we know there's a lot of positive that is happening in Africa, but at the end of the day, what the world reads about, we are not saying these things are not happening, but in them happening, there is also good, and a lot of good that actually overpowers the little bit that we see in Africa. How now do we bridge the gap to get to a level where there is more of the truth, more of positive information that is actually put out there, looking at the fact that digital medias are growing every day. Every day there's another Facebook platform that comes up. Every day there's another online paper that's coming up. And every day as they come up, they're coming up with unchecked information. Back to you.
Okay, thank you. How do we go about that? If we must resolve this issue of negative information being disseminated about Africa, we need to know why people engage in that. One, let's talk about self-worth. Worth. Africans have less self-worth of themselves. So if we must change what we write about Africa, we have to improve our self-esteem. Let me give you an instance. My wife is an American. She stays with me in Nigeria here. But my wife still loves America till tomorrow. When Nigeria and America engage in a competition, my wife supports America. But my wife loves me so much. But the point is the worth, the value that Americans place on their country determines or is what informs how they present America to the world. I am still waiting to see the dullest American. The best athlete in America, the Americans will say he's the best in the world. You see value for themselves. But I am yet to see the poorest American athlete. The reason is they conceal the bad aspect of themselves and project the areas of their strength. Value. Nobody brings out the dirty part of his family in the open. Value. In the secret, they trash the dirty things and present the good things out. So if we have value for ourselves, we then will be able to project Africa in the good light. That is one aspect of it. Another way by which we can reduce or curb the negative things published about Africa is to deal with hunger. I hope you know that some people push forth this negative information to get money from people. Yeah. Religious bodies will tell you they are under attack so that foreign missionaries will hate them. Somebody will come up with one pathetic story so that some people will dish out money, some donors, some grantors will dish money out to them. Hunger, poverty mentality. Until we wake up to know or to understand that we have enough resources here to make us rich. I am telling you, this poverty mentality will keep on pushing us to project ourselves in the negative light. So I want to say that we have to work on, let me put it in this way again, let us deal with the poverty mentality that we have. Then it will change the narrations we have about ourselves, about Africa. There's no way I'm going to present myself as a suffering person. No, self-dignity, self-worth. I rather package myself well so that you can respect me, and I earn respect. If you have value and respect for me, you will not price me cheap. Somebody working with World Bank was talking about Africa in relation to other developed countries. He said, when World Bank is presenting a facility to an African country, they put conditions. But when the World Bank is putting a facility to the developed countries put conditions for World Bank. It's just a matter of how we have presented ourselves. We have to reevaluate how we are valuing ourselves. Then it will inform how we project ourselves on the media. Even if you have a negative report to give, why don't you use euphemism? There is a dantoner. There's a way you can dantone the harshness of a negative report, and yet you'll still pass the message. So I think we need to work on one another, and we need to reorientate our children, our men, our women on what they say about Africa. Is going to go a long way to help us. That's the opinion for now.
All right. Thank you so much, sir. You said a mouthful. You talked about us projecting the positivity that is there, or talking about the positive things that are there, and you gave quite a very, very appealing, exciting example about Africa. But then it kind of raised the question to me, because in my understanding it's the fact that it's the job of a journalist to look into the cracks that are there, to look into the contradictions that are there, the mishaps that are actually there in our governance, in the way in which our countries are run, in order so they could actually inform the people, in order so that there could be transformation of our community. But then how do we now go to levels where we are able to shed the light on the cracks, on the contradictions, on the mishaps that are happening in our country, also putting in consideration how we portray our countries to the outside world?
Thank you. I think the journalist needs to be objective in narrating his stories. But I want you to know that every media house has a mission. We have some media houses that thrive on carrying negative news. I hope you know that negative news sells more than the good news. Yeah. We have a lot of newspaper houses. Their interest will just be breaking bad news, breaking bad news, breaking bad news. I have never seen any media house that is interested in hunting and reporting the good aspect of Africa. Sorry, I am not marketing any paper. Bridge Afrique magazine tries to showcase Africa in the right light, in a way to bring business to Africa. How many of such media platforms do we have that is doing that? We rather have a host of them that project the negative thing. If you talk about balance in news reporting, balance, fine. Whatever has the good part, we have the bad part. Then in the course of recording or reporting the bad side, your purpose of reporting it should be with the aim of getting it corrected, not to sell your paper, not to draw attention to your media house. So this still boils down to hunger, poverty. I have to report in a way that I will have a host of people to patronize me, not the value of the reporting itself. I don't know whether I responded to your question.
Yes, you did, and I loved how you talked about the idea of balance. I love how you mentioned the idea of balance, to say, we need to be balanced in the kind of news that we put up when reporting. But I'm still stuck up in the thought that every media house is about gaining profit. And this is where we are. Our conversation is about shifting narratives. It's about building a new era for our media houses, looking at the fact that we have an outside world out there that is still looking into investing in our Africa. And we have media houses as well that are trying to stabilize their businesses so their business can keep thriving. And then now, because if we are to get them to selling things that are not so profitable, if I could say, to them, selling news that are not so profitable to them, and isn't that going to affect their business in a way? If it does, then how do we do it in such a way that it's not about us killing their businesses, but it's about us getting to a level where whatever they publish as well, it brings credibility to us as Africa, so much that a country that is a person that is looking into Africa from an European part of the lens could actually say, yes, I think I can go try something in that country. I think I can go to Nigeria and try something, or maybe I think I could go to Botswana and try start up something in Botswana without the fear of all the negativities that is there in our part of the world.
All right, thank you. Who says we don't have negativities in US, in UK, in Australia, and all those countries that people run to? They have it more than us. Really, they do. Crime is on a high level in those countries we mentioned. But the point is this: look at their news media. They report objectively. They report with a purpose of presenting their country in the way that we add value to it. Now, I am not saying that the media houses should do the business that will not profit them. Is it in the negative that you profit? Don't we have other aspects that can make the media house thrive? Must you run a monotonous news reporting? Why don't you diversify in the news reportage that you do? As you go into the bad one that you feel you can make money from, there are the good ones that will interest people in. If you go into where we can invest in Africa, I know investors will love to read about that. If you read about if you write about our culture, these people love tourism. Write about tourism. Write about the rich culture of Africa. I am very sure that these people will be willing to come here to see and to patronize us. But when your interest is in banditry, in terrorism, in corruption, you have painted everybody black. Even the good ones are black. You know, my wife, when she first of all came to Nigeria, said, "Oh, I thought everybody here is skeleton." Because what they always say about Africa is hungry people, skeleton, skeleton, famished people. Until she came here, she never knew that we had flesh on us. So why don't we look for what we attract people here? It will help us more. As a matter of fact, let the people discover the negative by themselves. Nobody will tell his friend, "My father is a wicked man. My father is a robber." You say, "My father takes care of us. He loves the family." Then your friend will come to your house. It is when your friend comes to the house, he discovers other aspects of your father. Why don't we do this? Let our reporting be balanced. Let it project more of the positive than the negative. And we have it. Even the world powers know that Africa is the strength and the stronghold of the survivor of the world. That's why they are pumping their money into Africa. They pump money into Africa in order to make them survive. Without Africa, the other parts of the world cannot survive. But we in Africa, we don't even realize that we have what it takes to sustain the world. We rather want to run there. We want to go there and have it cheap. So I feel the media houses should do more of positive reporting. It will attract those people that have interest in Africa, that want to benefit in Africa. If the whole world, the other parts of the continent, know that Africa is very significant to their survival, then let's give them what they are looking for. There's something they are looking for in Africa. Let our news media houses report those things to them, report more of those things to them, so that they can come. Not that we give cheap, negative reports so that they can pump money for us to eat. No, it shouldn't be.
All right, say, all right. We are going somewhere. We're going somewhere. I'm liking this. But now that we have talked about all the wrong that seems to be done in our beautiful Africa, and our program today is just about building a new era for the African media, a new shift for the African media. So now going further, what do you think we need to do in order to build better strategies, in order to build the strategies that will help us survive the whole turbulences and the whole strategies that will take us further as the media houses in Africa, strategies that would actually come in as a key now in promoting and selling our Africa to the outside world, and also in selling us to the investors that have the desire to actually invest in Africa, and also to putting in consideration the transformation of Africa's own people.
Sorry, my network went bad. I didn't hear you.
Yes,
I had a disconnection.
Yes, what I was saying was we have talked about all these. Now let us have a shift. Let us look forward. What do you think now we need to do as media houses in Africa? What do we need to do in order to build and come up with new strategies that would help us, strategies that will survive the turbulences, strategies that would now sell Africa as it is to the outside world and promote Africa for exactly what it is, when so much that when somebody looks at it, they could actually say, this is an Africa that I have an interest or a desire to actually someday pay attention or invest in. News that would actually transform even the lives of its own people, the people of Africa.
All right, thank you so much. I think we need to do a retraining of our media practitioners. Training and retraining of these people we help. Now, they have been used to the negative report, but they need to be retrained, one, in the different aspects of economy, the different aspects of human endeavors in Africa. They need to be retrained in these areas so that they will have the knowledge. I am very sure, other than sport and politics, most of these media practitioners don't know anything about Africa. Sorry to say, rather than sports and politics, African politics, these media practitioners don't know anything about Africa. What do they know about the mineral resources in Africa? What do they know about the culture of Africa? What do they know about the religious practices in Africa? What do they know about all these aspects and very many others? You can't write on what you don't know. If they are retrained, as a matter of fact, the way the media houses have a column for politics, a column for probably politics for sports. Why don't we have a column for agriculture, agricultural values in Africa or in Nigeria? The mineral resources in Nigeria, investment opportunities in Nigeria, the religious, the beauty of Botswana culture. By the time we have these columns in our media platforms, I am telling you, we will be projecting ourselves to the world in the positive light, instead of just writing the negative, the negative, the negative. So I want to say that reorientating the media practitioners will go a long way, while we also work about ourselves on our self-esteem. I am very sure many people are regretting being Africans. I'm very proud to be an African. I love Africa. I love Africa, and I want to do my best to develop every aspect of Africa. I'm telling you the truth. So we have to be proud about it. If an American will wake up and say, God bless America, every day, God bless America, God bless America. Why don't I say, God bless Nigeria when I wake up? Why don't I support Nigeria when I have a reason to support Nigeria? Why don't I support our sister country, Botswana and Ghana and the other ones like that? By the time this is there, I am telling you, it will show a child that has positive self-esteem from home. When you see him outside, you will know that everybody will know that, no, this guy is happy from home. But a frustrated being, you are expecting a frustrated being to write about himself. What is he going to write? He will say, I'm unfortunate. My parents are poor. Everything, the world is against me. I don't even know why God brought me to this world. You know, because he has a very poor estimation of himself. But when you are proud about yourself, even the negative thing will be seen as a stepping stone to a high altitude. So I think we need to retrain our media practitioners. That is the bottom line.
Awesome. We had Mr. Korsi they joining us. We just lost him. I think he's having a problem with his internet. Mr. Korsi is a journalist and editor for Awake African magazine in Ghana. We just lost him there, and I believe he will just join us back as we continue. Yeah, Mr. Pumeli, it's still just the two of us. So we're just going to continue with this amazing conversation, with this amazing conversations that we are having. Yes. I personally believe we have reached a level where we need operability between our government and the media houses, because personally I believe the two play a very important role, because as much as it is, we can't separate the two. It will take the government to actually come up with policies. It takes the media platforms to bring those policies to the views of the people, to the to inform the people on them. And I want to believe that we need that operability between our government and our media house. But then going further, say, what's your advice on that? What's your advice in case somebody watches and they think, the media is all about sharing on the bad that the government is doing, and the government is all about shying away from media? There's just a fight between the two. And how do we now go further to a level where there is operability between the two? Because to me, I believe they are just two sides of a coin, and if they fight one way or the other, if they fight, there's an African proverb that says, when two elephants fight, it's the ground that suffers. As they fight, it backstabs on us, the people of Africa. It hurts best on us, the people of Africa, that has the desire and the aspiration to see Africa somewhere. So how do we now reach that level where there is, interoperability between our media houses and the government, so much that the two don't shy away from another, or they're pulling away from the other?
All right. Thank you so much. I love that aspect you just brought up now. I said something earlier on. The problem of Africa is nothing but poverty. Poverty of the mind, physical poverty, all these are there. Now, the objectivity of news reporting in relation to government policies and the governance. If you look at it, we have two different strands. We have some media platforms that love to be anti-government. They want to report something against the government. We have some other media platforms that they are pro-government. The reason is the ideology is just for them to get. The media platform that is pro-government of a pro in I mean, sorry, let me put it this way, that is in favor, that reports in the favor of this particular government, changes when another person comes to power, just because they are getting from this other government because of relationship. And the other person that is coming, they have no relationship, they look for the negative one to report. So you now see that the reporting we have, they are not really objective in the sense that we want to give the truth to the people, but rather we want to give the report that will earn us money more. So what I'm saying is, until we bring objectivity into what we are doing, we have some media houses, government media platforms, they are never going to say anything against the government. That is unfair. That is falsehood. That is negative painting. But then we need media platforms that will be able to talk about government. We talk about the freedom of the media, of the press. The media houses should be able to talk about the government without fear. They should be able to objectively discuss what they see, and it is when the government gives them the platform to express themselves, the government will be able to see what they are doing that is bad and what they are doing that is good. They will be able to work and improve on themselves. But in a situation whereby we are not speaking the truth, we may be giving wrong signal to the leaders. They will think they are doing the right thing, and yet they will remain the way they are. And if it is a negative, we always report. The leaders will have assumed, will have concluded, whatever we do is the negative they will give, so why changing what we are doing? But in a situation where we have balanced, we have talked about balanced reporting now, where objective reporting is in operation, whosoever is picking the newspaper, we know that he is reading the truth, and we work on whatever area that needs to be worked on. So the government should be sincere, should allow the press to operate without fear, without witch-hunting them. And also, the media houses also should be objective in speaking or in narrating whatever they have. This is going to go a long way to change the situation of Africa.
Awesome. As you were talking, say, you kept emphasizing the talk on the key point, freedom. You kept saying, let there be freedom of speech, of publishing, of talking about things that concern us in Africa. But how talking about the freedom, isn't that going to take us back now to the growth of digital medias erupting every day and them bringing out a lot of untruthful rumors that are actually, because I personally, I don't know, but I personally believe that the reason why at times even the government fails to actually call all those press releases and call on the media houses to come and talk about some policies or some things that have been done is because of these digital medias that are coming, erupting every day and coming up with some very untruthful information that is seriously affecting us, because basically we are on media, we are on the internet, on the Facebook, on social media almost every day. You read on the statistics will show you that we spend around 155 minutes per day on social media, meaning that we are getting all this information, and in us getting it, we are believing it, and in us believing it, isn't that now when we open up to Africa, when we say the government should introduce more of freedom, isn't that freedom now going to be our fall now with all these digital medias coming up with a lot of false information?
Okay. All right, thank you. I love that aspect too. You agree with me that freedom without restriction leads to bondage. Uncontrolled freedom will still lead one into captivity. Now, I know, like in my country, there have been a lot of attempts to clamp down on all these publications on electronic media. One, there are a lot of ways to screen whatever one is seeing on the social media. what is the source of that information? The person posting it, what authority does he have in the area of that information he is posting? 3, how current is the person and the information he is posting? We all write projects. There are, when we are looking for facts that we put into our projects, there are some things we consider. Recency, authority, all those things. So the media, the information we are reading on the social media, on the electronic media, let me put it that way, who is posting it? What authority does the person have in the aspect of that information he is posting? For instance, if I'm saying that the vaccine they are giving to people on COVID-19 is a killer vaccine, the question an intelligent person should ask is, Mamile that is saying this, what knowledge has he in medicine? How long has he been in medicine? What research has he done to make him conclude on what he has said? These are ways to screen the information that is published on the on the electronic media. Even the ones that we read in the print media, you will see that if it is on sport, they look for an expert on sport to handle the sport column authority. That person has authority in that aspect. Now, if we now have all these social, these news medias on the internet, on Facebook, on all those other platforms, who is the brain behind it? Is it licensed? So, if we must screen the information that are disseminated on the social media, there should be a way of licensing those platforms that are projecting those information. When you are licensed, you are under a form of control. Don't forget I said, if any form of freedom that does not have a control will lead to bondage. So when license is issued to those platforms, you will see that they will be very careful of the information they disseminate, because there's a form of control. If as a school owner, I run a school, as a school owner, I receive an approval to run the school. There are guidelines that determine what I should do with the school. That's why I use my money to build a data platform. Immediately I violate any of the guidelines, my certificate of operation can be withdrawn. So in a situation where anybody can do his own purpose with the news media, you will see that we will keep on having negative information about Africa. So I want to say that if we must have electronic media that will be objective, that will be productive, and that will project Africa in the right climb, I want to say that every media platform on the social media, on the internet, must be licensed. There should be regulation. I think that's the major word. Regulated online media platform, where it's not even to the point of, okay, let me give an instance now. At the time when Donald Trump was posting things contrary to the generally believed result of the US election, Twitter blocked him, Facebook blocked him. That's regulated in a way. The same thing, any man, any individual that is seen to be counterproductive, that is giving negative information on true stories, there should be a measure to close down that account. The reason is many of this information can lead some other people to death. What if I write that, oh, I now know that herbicides cure headache, and I package the write-up very well. I hope you know that some people will take that thing and it will take their lives. And that is why we shouldn't allow just anybody to use his social page just for anything. So I want to conclude on this point by saying that every user of the social media must be regulated in a way. I am not talking about enslavery. No, there is a way we can be enslaved, but I'm talking about objective regulation of the use of the social media platforms. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so very much, sir. I think Mr. Korsi is currently having a little problem with his internet, there, but oh, he seems to have been sorted. Mr. Korsi, can you hear me, sir? He seems to be having a problem with his internet. So I think we have reached a level where we actually talk on it. We are to talk of building a new era for our African media. And I believe with the much that we have so far discussed, I'm just going to give you a platform, Mr. Pomile, just to share, to say your last words in inspiring upcoming media houses that are there. Everybody that is a journalist, that is the editor, that is on this theme, because I feel it has affected Africa in a lot of ways, and it's time as Africa we rise from our challenge of actually just publishing everything without an eye that looks as to how that thing is actually going to to bounce back and affect us as the people of Africa. Mr. Korsi,
right,
can you hear me, sir?
I want to talk to my fellow Africans. Can I speak on?
Okay, go on. He seems to still be having a problem with his internet.
All right.
Just
I want
carry
to talk
on,
to
sir.
my fellow Africans that God has blessed us with a very wonderful continent. And if we must make it good, it is our responsibility. So Africa is a rich place. Africa is blessed, but we are the ones to make sure we harness the blessings in Africa to our interest. So I want us to see the best we can do individually in promoting and projecting Africa in the positive light so that it will benefit all of us. I want to say this, that the negative perception with which the other parts of the world look at us, we created it. So we can rewrite the narratives. And this is in the hands of every African. I have proposed in my mind that I'm going to make Africa proud. Whether I'm in Africa or in another part of the world, I am going to make Africa proud. I am going to make sure people relocate to Africa by virtue of the way I conduct myself, by virtue of the value I add to their lives, by virtue of the contribution I make to the world. I will make sure that non-Africans visit Africa. By the time everyone makes this his responsibility, you see that if you sweep your compound, I sweep my compound, the other person sweeps his own compound, our society will be clean. When all of us take this as our responsibility, Africa is going to be great. Africa is great. Africa is going to be known to be great. Thank you.
It's the responsibility of each one of us. Mr. Korsi, can you hear me there, sir? Can you hear me?
Hello. Good afternoon.
Hi, good afternoon, sir. Good afternoon. Finally, we have managed to get hold of you. Okay, can you kindly just introduce yourself? Oh, we lost him again. That's Mr. Korsi Senyo, all the way in Ghana. He's the editor and he's the chief editor of Awake Africa magazine. He's a journalist with so many years of experience as a journalist. It's said that we keep losing him. He had mentioned earlier that his internet seems to be having a problem. We have We have exhausted our topic, and I feel there's much that needs to be said, though we don't have time to say all of it. And we believe, I personally have learned a lot from Mr. Pumile this afternoon. Yes, it's our joy here at Africa in Conversations to have such conversations that are there to actually shift conversations that are there to shift the direction of change, to empower change in our people. And today, as we were talking, the new era for African media, I think what I picked out is, as the media houses in Africa, we play a very critical role, and our role is instrumental to the transformations of the life of our people. It's not only about selling what can be bought or publishing what can sell, but it's about also coming up with news that are there, news that could actually represent Africa on the outside world. Because as it is where we are still a developing continent. There is still much that needs to be done in Africa, and it takes us coming together. It takes our government, it takes our media houses, it takes the people of Africa, each one of us playing a key role in selling Africa to the outside world, each one of us playing a key role in advertising the positivity that is happening in Africa. And I believe after here, we all have been challenged to go back and to look into the way we've been doing things, to go back and to look into the way in which we've been publishing information, and also put in consideration to say, you know, with the kind of information I've been putting out there, how have I been playing my role in transforming the lives of my people, in transforming the life of my country, in transforming the life of our continent, Africa as a whole. Because at the end of the day, Africa on its own is on a rise, and it will take the people of Africa for us to channel it to the direction of change that we want to see. Thank you so much for joining Africa in Conversation. Mr. Pumile, at this point in time, I'm just going to give you a second just to say bye to our audience. Yes, sir.
Oh, I didn't get to hear you well.
I was saying at this point in time, I'm just going to give you a second just to say bye to our audience. And thank you so much for joining us. We have learned a lot from you, sir.
Thank you so much. We shall be great. We shall be greater than what is expected, what people think about us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Yes, viewers at home, thank you so much for watching Africa in Conversations. I'm always humbled by your support. I'm always humbled by your level of support, and we are very, 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 very grateful. We are very, very thankful. Once again, it is Africa in Conversation, and we hope to see you again next time on our page, African Conversation, to hear from you, to have those questions from you, to have those comments from you, so we could build this platform to higher levels and higher dimensions. Thank you, and see you again next time. Bye-bye.